Welcome back to Moto Market Explorer. Today's list features 15 affordable vintage bikes, barn finds, and restoration projects. Number 1. 1974 Honda CB360, $700, Barrington, Illinois. First up is a 1974 Honda CB360, finished in orange, showing just over 12,400 miles. This classic twin-cylinder Honda still appears mostly complete and retains much of its original vintage paint and period-correct parts. With its classic 1970s styling and simple parallel twin engine, the CB360 has long been a popular platform for restorations and cafe racer builds. The seller notes that the bike has been sitting for some time and its current running condition is unknown. It's also being sold as is and does not come with a title. Still, for just $700, this could be an appealing project for someone looking to revive a classic Honda or build a custom vintage machine. Number 2. 1955 BSA C11G, $1,500, Bloomington, Indiana. Next is a 1955 BSA C11G, a classic British 250cc single with plunger rear suspension. This vintage machine shows beautiful aged burgundy paint with original tank badges and knee pads still in place, giving it a great period-correct look. According to the seller, the engine turns over freely with compression and the bike comes with its original instruction manual. While it has been sitting indoors for a long time and is currently a non-running project, it appears to be a very complete motorcycle. The fuel tank has rust inside and will need cleaning, along with typical restoration work such as tires, wiring, and mechanical service. The good news is that it comes with a clean Indiana title, making it a promising candidate for a proper vintage restoration. Number 3. 1984 Kawasaki LTD, $500, Forest City, Iowa. Here's one of the most affordable bikes on the list, a 1984 Kawasaki LTD priced at just $500. The bike reportedly has around 14,000 miles and was running well before being parked. According to the seller, the main issue is that the carburetors will need to be rebuilt before it can be ridden again. The downside is that the bike does not come with a title, so that's something a potential buyer would need to consider depending on local registration rules. Even so, at only $500, it could be an inexpensive entry point for someone looking for a simple vintage motorcycle project or a useful source of spare parts. Number 4. 1977 Harley-Davidson XLH1000 Sportster, $1,500, DeKalb, Illinois. Next up is a 1977 Harley-Davidson XLH1000 Sportster, a classic iron-head Harley with some aftermarket upgrades, including an S&S carburetor and an extra vintage seat. The seller mentions that the bike was running and being ridden before it was placed on a stand to address an oil leak. Unfortunately, during the process of removing the cylinder head, the head cracked and the project was never finished. Because of that, the bike will need a replacement head before it can run again. Even so, at $1,500, this vintage Harley could be a tempting project for someone familiar with iron-head Sportsters. Number 5. 1972 Suzuki T350, $750, Genoa City, Wisconsin. Next up the list is a 1972 Suzuki T350, a classic two-stroke twin often remembered for its lively performance and lightweight feel. This particular example shows around 27,000 miles and is described as a barn find. The engine turns over with good compression and the bike rolls easily. The seller notes that the bike is mostly complete but is missing the ignition coils, and the overall cosmetic condition is fairly rough. On the positive side, it does come with a clean title and key. With some work and the right parts, this vintage two-stroke Suzuki could make for a rewarding restoration project. Number 6. 1950 Vintage Triumph, $1,000, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Next is what appears to be a vintage Triumph, believed to date from the 1950s. The seller isn't completely certain of the exact year, but the motorcycle clearly represents an older British machine that has been sitting for quite some time as a barn find. The bike is currently non-running and missing several components. The seller notes that there is no title included, and the motorcycle would likely appeal to someone looking for a restoration challenge, a parts donor, or even a vintage display piece. With a $1,000 asking price, it could still be an interesting starting point for a classic British project. Number 7. 1978 Yamaha DT250E, $1,300, Chicago, Illinois. Next up is a 1978 Yamaha DT250E, a classic two-stroke dual sport that was well known for its lightweight feel and strong performance for the era. The seller says the bike runs well and has received a number of upgrades over the past couple of years, including a CDI ignition conversion, 12-volt lighting, and newer tires. The bike is described as fully functional and capable of reaching around 70 miles per hour, which is impressive for a vintage 250cc trail machine. However, it does not come with a title, which buyers will need to consider depending on local registration requirements. Number 8. 1974 BMW R75/6, $2,900, Baxter, Minnesota. Here we have a 1974 BMW R75/6, part of BMW's well-known air-cooled Boxer lineup from the 1970s. The seller reports that the motorcycle runs and drives well, making it a solid candidate for someone looking to get into a classic German touring bike without a major upfront investment. There are a couple of issues noted, including a front brake that could use some additional attention. The original instrument cluster was also replaced with a unit from a later 1976 model, which means the gauges are currently installed but not fully wired due to the different electrical setup. Number 9. 1975 Honda Goldwing GL1000, $1,000, Red Granite, Wisconsin. Next is a 1975 Honda Goldwing GL1000, one of the earliest versions of Honda's legendary touring motorcycle. This blue example shows about 53,000 miles and is said to run and ride, though the carburetor will likely need some tuning to perform at its best. The bike features a Harley-style single carburetor conversion along with dynacoils, LED lighting, and newer tires. The seller also mentions that the original parts will be included, which could be helpful for someone planning to return the bike closer to its factory configuration. Number 10. 1977 Kawasaki KZ650, $700, Clarksville, Iowa. Next is a 1977 Kawasaki KZ650, one of Kawasaki's classic inline-four motorcycles from the late 1970s. According to the seller, the bike will start and run when connected to jumper cables and kicked over, suggesting that it likely needs electrical or battery work. The motorcycle also needs some brake service and general maintenance, but it does come with a clean title. With an asking price of just $700, this vintage Kawasaki could be a very affordable entry point for someone looking to take on a classic motorcycle restoration project. Number 11. 1975 Honda XL250 Enduro, $2,000, Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. Next is a 1975 Honda XL250 Enduro, a classic dual sport machine known for its simple design and dependable 248cc single-cylinder engine. These early XL models helped define the lightweight on- and off-road category during the 1970s. The seller says this example runs and rides well and has already received several updates, including a new carburetor, fresh tires, and a new battery. With a title included and its reputation for reliability, this vintage Honda could make a fun and usable classic for both road and trail riding. Number 12. 1974 Suzuki TS, $1,250, Central City, Iowa. Next up is a 1974 Suzuki TS, a vintage two-stroke trail bike that has been kept mostly original over the years. The seller purchased it from the original owner's estate and has mainly kept it as a display piece since then. Although the bike has not been started since the 1980s, the engine still turns over freely and appears to be very complete. Aside from a broken rear turn signal, a bent lever, and a few minor issues, the bike remains largely original and could be a relatively straightforward restoration for someone looking to revive a classic Suzuki trail machine. Number 13. 1987 Yamaha Virago, $1,000, Victoria, Minnesota. Next is a 1987 Yamaha Virago finished in burgundy. The bike shows about 39,000 miles and is described as being in average condition for its age. The Virago series was known for its V-twin cruiser styling and comfortable riding position. This example is complete and fitted with a nice seat, though the tank does have a few small dings. The seller mentions that the original carburetors are included, while a side carburetor setup is currently installed and may need some tuning to run at its best. Number 14. 1980 Suzuki GS750, $975, Neoga, Illinois. Next is a 1980 Suzuki GS750, one of Suzuki's classic inline-four motorcycles from the late 1970s and early 1980s. This particular bike shows just over 23,000 miles and is described as a solid project with plenty of restoration potential. The seller notes a starter issue and mentions that some parts will likely need attention, including the front exhaust and fork tubes. The bike is also missing its side panels, and the title cannot currently be located, which is reflected in the relatively low asking price. Number 15. 1985 Honda CB650 SC Nighthawk, $450, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Rounding out the list is a 1985 Honda CB650 SC Nighthawk, a classic mid-1980s inline-four street bike. Powered by a 655cc engine paired with a 6-speed transmission, the Nighthawk series was known for its smooth performance and everyday usability. The seller says the bike starts, drives, and stops, but needs a few repairs, including a new battery and a head gasket replacement. It also shows some light oil seepage once warmed up. The good news is that it comes with a clean title and even includes a repair manual, making this extremely affordable $450 classic a potential project for someone looking for a budget inline 4 restoration. Thanks for watching Moto Market Explorer. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more classic motorcycle finds every day.